Hey, it's Jim here. I'm just in the middle of just getting started to ground lay or something, and I thought I would record it here for my YouTube channel. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing, and then we'll move along and we'll see if it's successful. It's just a trial. I've never done a ground layer before, so we'll see what happens. So this tree right here, this sugar maple, is in the back of my property. I attempted to air layer it right there, and it didn't take, so I let it be. It's in the back of my property, behind my fence. There's my fence and my everything back there, but it's back here. It's in the shade. It's in the bad spot. I mean, whatever. But it's got an interesting base, so I thought I would set up a ground layer to see if I can get some roots forming down here at the base. And then because it's a sucker, these sweet gums sucker, and it's basically the end of a root that's suckered up, and it runs wherever the heck it runs to. I mean, for all I know, it runs to a root of the sugar maples over there. I don't know. But anyway, it's I can't cut it there because there's no real fine roots. So what I'm going to do is, you'll see, I'm going to ground layer it down here. It's got a pretty interesting base. I'm going to ground layer it and then cover it up with some plastic and stuff, and then we'll see what happens. So let's give it a shot. All right, so you can see here, it's got a pretty interesting base, and it's got a nice fat bulb on it, but you can see here that it runs, it's a sucker that grew from the end of this root, and I wasn't able to dig it up, so that's why I tried to air layer it up top first. But I'm going to try to ground layer it. You can see although it's dirty now, but I've cleaned up all this all the way around. Hopefully that'll be good enough. And then I'm going to put some sphagnum moss around it, and then cover it with some plastic, and then all this pine straw stuff, and we'll just set it and forget it and see what happens. So I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so now here we are. I got it all done. I've got I put the rooting hormone on. I put the sphagnum moss around it, wet sphagnum moss around it, and you can see I've got a zip tie there around the top, and then I've just used some landscaping spikes to keep that plastic down tight to the ground. And then I'll cover it up with some pine straw and other, woodsy ground stuff, and then set it and forget it. And I hope it grows some roots, and in the fall, or probably more likely next spring, I'll check it. I'll leave it alone, and then probably next spring I'll check it. I might give it a look here in the late fall, because we're in Georgia. So if I can get it out by early October, I can probably get it to harden off in a net pot or something before winter hits. Otherwise, if it's not doing much, or it's only doing a little bit, I'll just leave it until the spring. All right, so I will take one last shot with it all done. All right, so we're all done. You can see I covered it up with the pine straw and other stuff that's sort of laying around, hoping that it'll work. Look, I don't know if it's gonna work, but look, sweet gums, diamond dozen down here. It has an interesting base, an interesting turn to it at the bottom. It's good thickness. If I can get it to root, and then I can chop it, maybe eventually I can get an interesting bonsai, but I don't know. But so what if it doesn't work? It's back here in this wooded area. It's not getting much sun. It's not really gonna do much. So, it's not gonna grow up to be anything monstrous or anything. So sorry about that finger there. But anyway, you got to try stuff. I don't know what's going to happen. Might not work, might work. I don't really care. I hope it works. That'd be great. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. Great. All right. When this is all done, I'll do a phase 2 follow-up video. Thanks. Have a great day. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a like.